Um,
But Kamala hasn't called you?
no, she's busy, I guess. But that could have been her. It just didn't come up on caller ID. It just came up Washington D.C. So maybe that was her. I don't know. But
Mhm.
I'll be most of the time my phone will filter through the spam, but
Yeah, because there's so much of it.
they've gotten tricky this time.
How they
Oh,
have. I've tried
so
blocking and they still come through. So
uh have y'all ever eaten chia seeds?
Can't
my
you have
daughter
it?
does.
Hmm?
My daughter does.
Well, if you see me picking at my teeth, it's because they're in my teeth and I can't get them out. I'm trying to get them all out, and it takes this little thing. Um,
Hmm.
I carry a bag of these around,
My husband does too.
but I think they're good for me. But
Are supposed to be good. I said I was going to try them.
well, here's how I eat them. Just to give you a nutrition tip, I think it goes along with our trying to do things better for ourselves. I try to eat a good bit of protein each day. 120 grams is what my goal is. And so in the morning for breakfast, I thought it maybe had in the trash can. I don't. There's a brand of yogurt that's called Ratio yogurt,
Uh-huh.
and it has 25 grams of yogurt or of protein, sorry,
Uh-huh.
25 grams of protein. And so I put that in a bowl. I put a quarter cup of walnuts. I put 2 tablespoons of chia seeds and a cup of frozen strawberries. And that's what I eat
That
for
sounds
breakfast.
good.
And it gives you fiber, protein, it's just good for you, good vitamins. And so
So how
that's
much protein was that as a whole, as a total?
hold on a second, I'll tell y'all because
Okay.
What you say? Ratio, RATIO?
Ratio yogurt. And they have key lime,
Oh, I need to
coconut,
try that.
vanilla,
Mm.
strawberry, and blueberry. I think those are the ones that's what's at my Walmart. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean that other Walmarts may not have other, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Um,
just started eating yogurt because I don't care for it. But I've been doing, like you said, put all the honey and the nuts in it and whatnot. That helps me.
yeah, it changes it. So let's see. The straw I'm gonna put this, hold on. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm doing so it's not like you not wondering. I have a Fitbit, that's what this is,
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
and it's connected to my phone, and so I can put in everything that I eat, right?
Okay, okay.
And
Got
so
it.
here's my quarter cup of walnuts, my 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, my 1 cup of frozen strawberries. The reason why I use frozen strawberries is because if you buy fresh strawberries,
They do, like
they
banana.
rot in like 2 seconds. So I buy
Mhm.
the frozen because I don't have to worry about them going bad. So let's see. That right there is walnuts, chia seeds, strawberries, and blueberries. So
I love blueberries.
that's a total of 33 grams of protein um for breakfast.
Okay,
Let me,
okay.
if you want to know another really good protein meal, and you're probably gonna say, I don't know if about that because that's what I did when somebody told it to me. Okay,
Mhm.
so first is a little pouch of tuna fish. It's 70
Ugh.
calories. I like tuna fish, but what got me
And
was,
so
hmm,
I love it too.
okay, well, it's the little pouch of tuna fish, 70 calories. It cost $1 at the Walmarts.
Uh-huh.
A little container of cottage cheese. Now you can buy the big thing of cottage cheese and measure it out, but it's easier for me to just buy that little, it's like a 2-pack of cottage cheese. It's like this little cup, okay?
Mhm.
Put that in there. Then I crumble these up. These are called Quest
Okay.
protein chips.
I've seen that.
Crumble them up and just stir it in, and it's like 44 grams of protein and not very many calories at all.
Hmm.
Okay.
I did not want to try it, but the girl who said I know it doesn't sound good because I'm
Mhm.
like cottage cheese, because
Exactly.
you think about tuna fish salad, you got mayonnaise, you got eggs, you got sweet relish, you thinking about tuna salad. And I'm not a big fan of cottage cheese anyway. So she was like, I know it doesn't sound good. Try it. My daughter eats this at 16, this little concoction, and I really like it. If you like spicy chips, this brand has like spicy, I don't know what it is, spicy nachos. I don't know, spicy something. You better believe it is spicy.
Hmm.
My nose was running eating
Oh
it.
my goodness.
So, but this is my favorite one, chili lime, and
Mhm.
the
That
other one
sounds
I like
spicy.
is like a taco, but this isn't spicy like the one that says spicy. Whew. 'Cause I like spicy stuff, but
I do too.
holy moly, I didn't think I would make it through on that. But that will give you good protein. And then last thing, and this, if I want a really easy high protein day, I eat that yogurt, I eat that tuna salad meal, and then at night they make in the freezer section at Walmart or at the grocery store, they have what is called oh gosh. I'm trying to remember if it's real good chicken nuggets. Real good chicken nuggets. Does that sound right? Real good. I think it is. I'm trying to find the thing on my Fitbit. Yeah, real good. That's the brand. Real good chicken nuggets. You can buy chicken strips, but they're also sold in nuggets. It the strips apparently have more breading. I've only bought the nuggets because somebody told me that, so I only buy the nuggets. But basically, 4 of the chicken nuggets, and you just put them in the oven. They taste, if you like Chick-fil-A, it's better than Chick-fil-A. And
Hmm.
4 little chicken nuggets is 24 grams of
Oh
protein.
wow. That's quite a bit. Okay.
Now,
Anytime
are you reheating the chicken nuggets or you actually having to cook them?
I put them in the oven. Now there's a microwave instruction, but
Okay.
you're going to get the microwave quality of the heat. I put them in the oven. Some people cook them in the air fryer.
Yeah, that's what I probably would want. So
So
they aren't raw then, they're already cooked.
they're basically already cooked. You're just kind of reheating them.
Okay.
And that's something that's like my easy day that's going to be high in protein. Like I didn't have to try real hard. And I got all my protein. And so those are just food items that I have through research and looking up people that are protein people for their advice. But or else, if you just eat grilled chicken or baked chicken all the time and eat boiled eggs all the time, you're going to be so sick of just that. So my goal was to find a variety of things to eat and get good protein.
How
And
did you determine? Oops, sorry. Go on.
I,
No,
I
I was
just
going to inquire, how did you determine the amount of protein you want to consume daily?
there's a calculator that you can go on in on the internet and put in your own body information and it spits you
Okay.
out a range. But a general rule is 100 grams of protein a day. That's just a general like goal. When I first started, I had read take your goal body weight. So say if your goal is 150 pounds of body weight, eat that many grams of protein. So I was trying to eat that much protein and I was just plumb sick of it. So that was just too much. So
Okay.
I went, my range is 120 to 150. So I went with 120 grams every day. And as long as I get 100, I feel good about it.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
But you have to start at the beginning of the day and work slowly
Mhm.
towards your goal, or else you'll get to the end of the day and you'll go, oh crap. You really have to try and be mindful about eating protein.
Mhm.
I wasn't eating that much protein before,
Okay. All right.
but I promise you, you will feel so much more satisfied. Not that I never have sugar cravings, but I have been amazed at how I don't crave sugar.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
Why is that?
I
That's
don't really
interesting.
understand it, but I know when I first started, and my lunchbox over here is where I'm pulling this stuff from. When I first started, I bought these based on a recommendation, and it's by Bear Bells. And this one's
Mhm.
cookies and cream. It's a protein bar, and it is 20 grams of protein, and it's 200 calories. So the sugars is 1 gram of sugar. Well, in the beginning, I was so used to eating something sweet in the afternoons,
Uh-huh.
I would eat these instead of like grabbing candy or, something bad for me sweet. But now, this has been, I think, since August, whenever I started with the protein stuff. Um, I I'm not going to say I never crave something sweet, but a lot less. And that wasn't even a goal of mine. My goal was simply drink water and eat protein. Everything
I
else,
crave sugar at night. That's when I crave sugar. I want something sweet.
well, try something like this that's sweet, but it's giving you protein and it's a better choice for you.
Okay, I
Green
may
And
get
you
that.
might
ingredients.
have to try different flavors to what you would like the most or
Mhm.
like the best. But what I have read and understood, and y'all, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to figure all this stuff out to be the healthiest I can be.
Right.
But okay, for every 100 calories, you want it to have 10, at least 10 grams of protein. So, whenever you go to the grocery store and on the box, it'll say something like high in protein or
Yeah.
good protein source, and the boxes, they'll lie to you. They just want you to buy
Mhm.
it.
Right.
So look on the back and see, like, okay, this has 200 calories for this bar is one serving, and it has 20 grams of protein. So that's 10 grams of protein per 100 calories. So this is a good source of protein.
Okay.
Could you
So
read the
if,
first three ingredients on the back for me, Jennifer? I'm just
I
curious.
will. Give me a second. Let me find it. All right. Milk protein blend. And that's the same stuff that they'll make protein shakes and stuff out of.
Uh-huh.
Da, 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 da. I'm looking for the end parenthesis. Okay. Glycerin, maltitol. I think these are fake sugar sources.
Okay. All right. I
And then
want listen.
bovine collagen hydrolysate. There's unsweetened chocolate in it. There's dry whole milk. Sometimes we can't get everything from source like real food sources.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people eat tofu. I'm not fixing to
Yeah.
eat
No.
tofu,
Yeah.
y'all. I'm just not. I mean,
Either am I.
I don't want to. I don't know how you make that edible, but I don't care. I don't want to eat it. So, I have this always in my bag for just in case I crave something sweet. It's not necessarily in my food plan, but it's there just in case. So, to have a healthier choice, you hear about protein or, cheese sticks being a good protein.
Yeah.
I'll keep mozzarella sticks. Supposedly you're
That's what
supposed
I've been eating here lately.
mozzarella sticks. I
Oh, I'm
always
proud of
have
you.
a boiled egg, mozzarella sticks, uh, and anyway, that's usually what I know. Pistachio nuts,
Mm-hmm.
plain almonds. Like I
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and just measure it out and putting it in a little Ziploc bag and
Mm-hmm.
throw it in my lunch box. And then
Right.
if I get a craving, then I don't go downstairs and get cookies or
Chips.
chips. I can get
Okay.
Yeah.
my lunch box and there's something that's already
Yeah.
measured out and a healthier choice for me.
Yeah.
And anyway, like I said, I think I've said it 3 times. I'll say it one last time in that I'm not an expert. I'm just trying my best to, be the healthiest that I can be.
Same here.
That's the goal for
And
all of us.
I am perimenopausal and you know, my hormones are kind of going like this, like I don't know what I want to do. So I know that protein can help me with my hormones, and so I'll do anything to try to help myself. And I'm glad to share any food things that I think are good because I'm just not eating something unless it tastes good. I
That's
don't
important.
I don't care how healthy it is. I mean, I could open a can of garbanzo beans, which I love,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh God.
I don't have to
Yeah.
cook them. I don't have to heat them up. I don't have to do any kind of seasoning to them. I love the taste of garbanzo beans, just plain.
I'll
But
be warm mine
That's
up.
good. Y'all should invite each other to dinner.
other people may think gross or
Uh-huh.
so it's not that I'm picky. I'm just not going to eat something unless I just like the way it tastes. So
Well, I'm
anyway,
forcing myself to eat oatmeal even though I don't like it, but it's supposed to be good. I've got
yeah,
to lose weight.
I like that steel cut oatmeal that's cooked on the
Uh-huh.
stove
Uh,
with almond milk because you know how real milk has so much sugar in it and it gets real like sticky and almost like I don't know, there's a certain texture to it. But if you use
uh-huh.
unsweetened almond milk to cook the steel cut oats with, and you cook it on the stove, it doesn't get that stickiness to it.
I'm
And
not a milk person.
I think milk tastes like phlegm, like it's sticky.
Oh
Uh-huh.
God.
Exactly.
I am not a big fan of milk.
Mm-mm.
But anyway,
Mhm.
I digress. We have talked 30 minutes about
Oh
food.
my God, I'm sorry.
But we still learn.
Well, it's a whole body thing, right? It's a whole
Yeah,
body thing where
holistic view.
we don't just exercise. We have to make sure that we're taking care of the food that we eat. We want to make sure that we're drinking our water. We want to make sure we're really mindful of taking care of stress. So, stress is something that can take over your body You can die from stress.
I
You
believe
sure
it.
can.
And so Tai Chi is a really good way to relax and exercise at the same time. This diaphragmatic breathing, where we inhale fully and exhale fully, can be so good for our de-stressing. I talked about laying in the bathtub and just breathing. So there's that Epsom salt water, relaxing my muscles, doing whatever Epsom salt does, and I'm breathing, and I'm just letting whatever stress, whatever's on my mind go, and I'm just letting my muscles relax with it. And so we just have to be mindful of the things that we do every day to take care of ourselves. All right, so let's start with our body structure being upright. Our feet are about shoulder width apart. Or we have a soft bend in our knees. Our shoulders are relaxed, and we breathe as we go through our stretching. So here, start with our neck. Hands come up, palms down towards our chin and chest. Push away from our bodies and follow those hands all the way down. Hands come up, chin to chest. Turn and push and follow those hands all the way down. Let yourself breathe through the movement. Taking our time, slow, smooth, and continuous. One more time. Now let's drop one hand to our hip. Look over that shoulder, stretching that neck. We're going side to side. The way we sleep can affect our neck muscles. I know sometimes I'll be stiff in the mornings. If you ever have to be in a car for a long time or drive for a long time, your neck will be stiff. And so these are exercises that can help loosen up those neck muscles. Take time to do those stretches so that you don't have tense muscles, because tense muscles can lead you to have headaches. Rolling our shoulders forward and back. The massage we give ourselves. Let's rotate up, come up, and push down. It's for our shoulders. For our spine, let's grab our ball, separate, and push up and down, stretching that spine. Stretch those muscles. Inhale and exhale as you separate. Let's take it side to side. Short trip side to side. The hand that's on top tells us the direction we're going. hip. Shift to one side, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. Being very conscious about keeping an upright posture. Very challenging for our balance. So take your time, have something nearby to hold on to in case you lose your balance if you need. Shift to the other side, heel forward, hands back, pause, and toe back, hands forward. And some days we have good days with balance and bad days. Now side to side, shift the weight as the hands go in that direction, tap out. Notice my hands stop at my frame. I'm not going any further. If I were to keep going, I would start leaning, and that goes against what we do here with our upright posture. Once we start leaning, that's going in the direction of falling, whether we fall or not. We don't want to give in to going with gravity. Taking our time as we shift the weight. Now for our knees, shift, lift, tap and punch. Step out, step forward, shift the weight, keeping both feet flat on the floor, side by side. So we shift to the side, step, shift forward, and back. So a lot of weight transference happening here. This is one of those exercises that you can do to really help improve your balance. So take Tai Chi out of it. This is specifically for our knee warm-up stretching for Tai Chi, but this can help improve your balance. It can also help with body awareness so that you're thinking about posture as you transfer weight. Now for our ankles, let's go heel toe. Bring it back, shift the weight, heel toe. Shift the weight, big toe, little toe. Bring it back, shift the weight, big toe, little toe. So side to side, feel my ankles. Getting all that movement, working on the mobility of my ankle joint. Give yourself a good shake, and we are ready for our Tai Chi. So we have done a really good job practicing and learning our basic 6 movements, starting to dive into our advanced 6. Let's review and go through our basic 6. So body structure, upright, relaxed shoulders. We have the soft bend in our elbow and our knees. We're thinking slow, smooth, and continuous as we go through our movements. Here we go and begin. Commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. So those are our basic 6. Hopefully you feel like that's a lot shorter than it was when we first started, because you know it's so much better. Remember, you have these tools here. If you can see them on video, step, switch, turn, and shift. These are our movements for waving hands and clouds. I always have the little version right in front of me. And this is my brain, so that I don't have to use my brain. I can just do the movements. So I suggest having a brain right there in front of you on a piece of paper. When I first started, I made a piece of paper that had the names of the movements. So I wrote commencement, and then I wrote single whip to the right. You know, I did waving hands in clouds to the right, and I wrote 6 steps.
Now, are you saying single whip or single
whip?
WHIP?
WHIP.
Okay.
And so that whip is what our hands do, and that is push out, turn, and kind of like a whip, isn't it?
Next to that. That's why I asked.
In part 2 of Tai Chi, we have a step back single whip. But that hand movement, that is that whip part. And we're coming from commencement, we come open, close. So our hands start here. And when we shift and step, it turns our body in the direction of that foot that stepped out. Then we push our hands out, but notice we keep a soft bend. We don't completely extend our hands. We push those hands out, then turn our palms away from us and separate. We continue to move both hands, but our eyes and head, not just our eyes, our head follows the hand opposite of the foot that steps out. So that's always the rule. We do the single whip to the right first, and we follow the left hand as we separate, not forgetting to move our right hand. You know the saying, out of sight, out of mind. So when we do that single whip, we may be following this left hand and forget all about this right hand because we're not looking at it. Well, make a conscious effort to move it even though you're not looking at it. And I want you to feel the difference. So do it wrong and then do it right. So doing it wrong, we leave that right hand there and just follow the left. So when I did that, I feel a slight stretch in my neck. I feel a slight stretch in my shoulder. But then when I do it correctly and I move my right hand and my left hand out, I feel more of a stretch, and I feel a stretch in my chest.
Really?
So, you know, I've caught myself in the past out of sight, out of mind. I forgot all about this hand because I wasn't looking at it. But being conscious to continue to move both out, and you'll get the full benefit of that movement. Now, we do all those warm-ups to warm up our muscles, to stretch our muscles. Now, you know when we do our neck warm-up, how we follow that hand to the side, come back to center and switch. You notice how that's the same feeling when we do our single whip, because we're looking towards that shoulder. Our hands are different, but that neck movement is the same. So we warm it up and stretch it before we get started, and that prepares us for that move. For waving hands and clouds, you know, we do our spinal warm-up where we hold our ball and we go side to side. So that's that spinal warm-up stretch. So notice it's a torso body movement. Well, in waving hands and clouds, we do that same torso movement. Our hands are just different. So when we step and we go to turn, there's that same movement. Our hands are just different. So imagine this is our warm-up move, but this is our waving hands and clouds move. So it's the same torso movement, just different hands. So that's why our warm-ups are so important. And it's really why if we practice warm-ups and we practice them with principle in mind, we can get the full benefits of Tai Chi. Having a series of movements that we have to remember to do in a certain order is really good for our brain. But, you know, we can have lots of different goals as we do these movements. So let's go through our basic 6 again. From the beginning and commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip. Shift left, step right, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes follow that left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands and clouds. Step, switch, turn, shift, 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 step, switch, turn, and to the middle for open and close. Single whip to the left, shift right, step left, adjust weight, push, turn, separate, eyes follow our left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands and clouds. Step, switch, turn, shift, 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 step, switch, turn, and to the middle for open and close. Close it out. Any questions about those moves? Are you feeling good about those?
Yes. Getting better.
All right. Okay. To the front and then we come back as well.
Ma'am?
Do we move both up and back? Are we moving in both directions when we're shifting?
For which move?
Mhm.
When I get ready to do the separate.
Okay. Whenever you do that single whip, your feet,
Single whip.
yeah, your feet start beside each other. The first one is to the right. We shift left, we step out right. Now, when we step out to the right, or step out to the right, or with our right, sorry, wrong preposition. Step out with the right, it's forward a little bit and it's at an angle. It's probably kind of hard to tell. So if my hands are my feet,
Okay.
I step out and at an angle. So it's further up,
Okay.
and my foot's kind of at an angle. Whenever I step out at that angle, it naturally turned my body. You see that? So if I were to step forward, my body doesn't turn.
Right.
But when I step forward but at an angle, it turned my body a lot to follow the angle of that foot.
Okay.
That increases that stretch of your spine and your chest. So if I'm here at an angle, push, and here, so my body was turned this way, and I'm opening up all the way to my left. So there's a bigger stretch than if I were to step straight forward and do it. I had further to go to finish that movement. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it's designed to do the most, because in a minute we're going to do it to the left. So we're going to stretch the whole other way. But that stretched my spine and moved that torso even more, because it was at this angle. Now I've moved
To the opposite. Okay.
and you're not twisting all the way, to the opposite angle. You're going to stay within your comfort zone. So if it starts to feel like it's too much, or if you feel pain, then of course don't go that far. But you are going to feel more of a stretch coming from that angle across than if you were to go from front to the other angle.
Okay. Thank you.
So it is a step forward, but it's the angle.
Okay.
It's about 45 degrees. And the trick with, and that doesn't have to be exact, you don't have to get out the protractor, but the weight transfer on that move is the weight shift and then step at that angle. And anytime in Tai Chi we empty step. So immediately I am shift, step, then I adjust the weight. So when I first step, there's no weight on that foot. Then I give it weight. And you kind of saw me move from back forward. Like I changed the position of my hips. So with the weight shift, let me do that again and talk about it. So my hips are here, shift. When I step, my hips are still back with this back foot. But when I shift the weight to have some on that front foot, my hips moved forward just a little bit. So I kind of split the difference. Now I have weight on both legs and my hips are in the middle of that weight. Whereas before, my hips were back over the back foot because there was no weight at the front foot. It was just a foot that stepped out. When I adjusted the weight, my hips moved forward. All right, so that is where the weight shift is in our single whip. We shift, step, adjust weight. Then we do this little whip with our hands. Now we are ready to shift weight and move on. And my eyes follow, in that first one, my eyes follow my left hand, right? So
Right.
I pretend that my eyes are powerful, like like I have superpower. And I look at that hand and I'm like, you stay there. And then I bring that other hand down with the foot. Because I think sometimes we're like, which one am I supposed to bring down? You
Yeah.
know, like we kind of forget. So that's how I remember which one that I'm bringing down to my hip is I pretend my eyes have a superpower that says, you stay right there. It's the other hand that's moving. And that finished off that movement. And then I go into waving hands and clouds. So when I bring that hand back, or when I bring that hand down at the same time, my foot comes with it. So there are a lot of times when that happens. Our hand and our foot comes together. It's kind of a unit. And not so much in these basic 6, but later on, especially in part 2, where they're a unit. The hand and the foot moves together. So this is just that instance where, boom, eyes have superpower, left hand, you stay right there, right hand and right foot come back, and now we're ready for waving hands and clouds. So we step, switch, turn, shift. Those are our 4 words. Step, switch, turn, shift. Step, switch, turn, shift. Step, switch, turn, shift. Step, switch, turn, and here's our last one. Shift, step, switch, turn. We come to the middle for open and close. Now, if you're really trying to progress into the slow, smooth, and continuous, we want to pair up and do these 2 things at the same time, and that is step and switch. So that's a goal. You don't have to be there yet, but that eventually you'll want to move into making it more smooth and continuous, and making those things happen at the same time. Do that. So we're going to the left, where with our single whip, we shift right, step left, adjust weight. Again, that's where our hips went from back to forward as we adjusted the weight to both feet. Push, turn, separate. Eyes follow that right hand. All right, there's our superpower. We're holding that right hand there as we bring that left foot, left hand back. Now we're ready for waving hands and clouds. So let's do that combining movement where we step and switch at the same time. Now let's turn, shift, step and switch, 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 turn. Now let's come to the front for open and close. Close it out. So that's what it looks like when you combine the 2. The step and the switch, do those at the same time. And then turn and switch. So you see, I didn't put turn and shift together. I turned, then I shifted. The reason why I do it that way is because I add in the gentle resistance with my stomach muscles. As I'm turning, I'm tightening up these stomach muscles and using my stomach muscles to push myself as I turn. If you don't want to engage the stomach muscles in that way using gentle resistance, because you don't have to really tighten up those stomach muscles if you don't want to as you turn. If you can combine turn and shift. I can't turn and shift as I'm engaging all those muscles. It's too many things going on for me. But what you can do is step and switch, and then I'm going to turn, and then I'm shifting at the same time. Step and switch, turn and shift. So it's not that my muscles aren't engaged at all. I'm just not really bearing down and tightening them up as I turn. I'm turning and shifting at the same time. And you may be able to do it, shift and turn and add gentle resistance with your core muscles. I just never felt comfortable that I was doing it in the right way. So I separate out turn and shift and put step and switch together. So many ways to do it right, especially when we have principles that we follow and within all of our movements. And that is why Tai Chi never gets boring, because we can do those basic 6 moves over and over, thinking about the control of our movement, adding in muscles, thinking about our posture, focusing on empty step before a weight transfer, focusing on breathing, focusing on, are my joints open? Am I leaving air or room in my armpits? Making sure there's a soft bend in my elbow and in my knees. So those same 6 movements can be done that many different ways because our focus changed. All right, let's cool down by giving ourselves a nice fist massage, lifting those knees up as high as you're comfortable bringing them up. Next week, we'll go back to visiting our advanced 6 movements with brush knee and play the lute. All right, let's tense and release. Tense, gather up that tension. We don't want to live this way. Let it go. Tension can be pain, and we don't want pain. Tense and relax. All right, let's breathe. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. We have our right fist representing our strength, our left hand fingers together representing our friendship, our thumb in our humility. We put those together, and in mutual respect, we say, Namaste. Any questions or comments about today?
I enjoyed class. It's getting a little easier to
I was
move.
about to say, yeah, I felt that
That's-
about it as well.
That it takes time to learn the movements. It takes time to accept kind of the new way that we're moving, because it's not your typical exercise. And so I appreciate y'all being committed to it, because I know it's easy to quit in the beginning and be like, no, that's not for me. That's too slow. Or you don't realize that slow is challenging in a good way.
Well, I appreciate you letting us go from class to class, because 1:30 is my better time, but here lately I've been having conflicts, so I've got somewhere to be today. So
You are fine. I'm always
like that flexibility.
I'm always glad to see you.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. I
Thanks.
love y'all. Have a good week.
Love you too. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.